does win a fight, they don't get anything off the back of it. They have not been able to take down any towers. On top of that, Team Malaysia has been able to take 2 already, or 3 rather. No tier 1 towers left standing on the side of Alliance. And Ohio is just basically the one to continuously make sure that Alliance can't get anywhere with the advantages they gain.
They're looking for KOXY up top here. They don't have the Hawks to scout it, though, but they see the smoke break. They know somebody's on the other side, and they will get the swap. They will get the stun, and they will bring down KOXY once again. So this gives a free pass to be aggressive on the tier 2 bottom, since the TP response will be delayed. Fortification is back up as they've taken all 3 tier 1s now, but essentially we're looking at a tier 2 for tier 1 trade with a possible counter initiation from Alliance if Chessie delays long enough.
Not sure if he can do that though. It's kind of scary. There is a blink dagger on the centaur and he is not afraid to use it. The tier 1 tower top does end up dropping. Let's see if Alliance will go bottom to see if they can defend this. It won't be an easy fight if they choose to, and it looks like they're just gonna give it up.
Blink on net as well as Ohio makes it a very hard position to engage upon, and they'll just take fights on their terms, as I have been doing all game long. Some good smoke movement, some great target fire, and they're building up their forces now. Ake is rapidly approaching his level 11, as well as being halfway to the Aghanim Scepter, so he's going to have a lot going for him. And Loda, he's half of the recipe away from the full Radiance here at only the 18.5-minute mark.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to see because I mentioned during the draft that, I'm not personally a fan of Spectre because he's normally a kind of passive, kind of carry type. However, Loda has been involved. He's been involved in 7 out of the 13 kills, and still he has just gone for the Radiance. That's Meepo down once again. That's actually... Like, Meepo is a hero that once he has his Aghanims and he's level 16, he's still going to be having a big impact, but this way he's not going to reach level 16 until it might be too late already.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that like to look at the fact that Divided Wasteland reduces your death timer and say, okay, it's not a big deal, Meepo would be right back into it. But honestly, just the fact that he's already level 12, he's feeding a lot of experience back the way of Alliance, and that's going to allow them to build up their ultimates, get more range of initiation on the Venge pretty soon, and in general, they just get more time for Loda to do his thing. He's played so darn well these past couple games as far as just getting the farm at the right time to build up and out-carry anybody on the side of Team Malaysia. So we'll see him finish up the Radiance very shortly. I don't think Ohio will have any way to contest that just here down on the bottom lane. And with that Radiance comes a whole new level of farm for him.
Yeah, very scary for Team Malaysia. Again, they're fighting up against one of those time bomb heroes. We saw them in the previous game not able to carry out their plan, and of course this time they're looking to change it. They have got some very strong late game heroes as well, don't get me wrong, but none is, I believe, as hard of a carry as that Spectre is. Yes, they can take down Spectre, but everything has to fall together perfectly. I'm talking like late game, and they have to hope about some Alliance misplays as well, and that's gonna get tricky.
Yeah, definitely. You look at KOXY, he's now built up close to the Aghanim Scepter, but here at the 20.5-minute mark, he still doesn't have it. We're going to see the Hawk come out.
Mushi, roared up, might have a haste rune, but you can't run if you're roared. And dies.
Yeah. Just too much to deal with there, and they're going to be able to take the tier 1 off that pretty easy. Ohio, like you were mentioning, will be able to keep pressure down on the bottom lane, but he's not taking the tower anytime soon, and Alliance have all the space in the world just to control the map to keep doing what they're doing. Top lane might be a different story. They have fortification, and they do need to look to contest that at the least.
Yeah, they are trying to create space. Ohio is still doing what he does. I really am liking the way he's playing this Venmancer. I said it earlier already, but I want to just point it out again. He is just really one of the space creator for his team, and it sounds so corny. I also love this observer ward that he has up on the high ground here. Offers a lot of vision, and it allows Ohio to basically stand here, and should Alliance push out this bottom lane, Ohio can still sit in the jungle. They now know where he is, though. I mean, boy. That happened. He's gonna teleport out, and Misery realized that as well. So, but next time they will see it if he sits in the jungle. If he doesn't reveal his positioning by placing wards like he just did. Damn it! He made my point on moot.
But the big thing here is that Venge is still level 10. If she was level 11, that would have been a swap on the TP. That would have been the death of the Venomancer. But for now, he's able to at least pull shenanigans as long as he sees the Visage Familiars coming. I mean, the Roar Blink is also a potential threat, but we see Bulldog is focused on farm right now. He's still, like, stacking up those Ancients. Really wants to take those down in a timely manner so that side of Team Malaysia don't have the chance to steal it. But they're just going to be stealing another resource off the map here. The biggest Ultra Creep of them all, Roshan, is taking some hits, but they don't feel very confident in it. Like, Meepo is usually one of those heroes that takes Rosh very easily, but they don't have a mech on him or the Vlads. They have the mech on Mushi, but he's not involved in the pit. So, all in all, KYXY is going to call it quits, and Rosh will just regen up.
Yeah, and now we see the results of all the rotations that Aki has been able to make. He's got 7 out of the 15 kills, and I actually mean last hits because he's been involved in 11 of them. He is very, very rich. He's got his Aghanims, which is faster than the one on the Razor. Now, fair enough, Razor did end up going for mech, but he's also the solo mid hero. And it's starting to get out of control. Let's see if they can kill off Ohio, though, because it looks like they finally want to end his... yeah, there they go. The swap is there. The Gale comes out still, but it doesn't matter. Ohio will go down. They waited for that. They baited him out. And they're able to execute it perfectly.
Yep. Wave of Terror now puts Blink Dagger on cooldown, so it's a really good way of just locking down the opponent, making sure that they can't escape from that situation, and making his life difficult. He's not going to be able to pull the same shenanigans time and time again. We will see the Tier 2 most likely pressured by Team Malaysia. I've said that a couple times, but now they see the hard commitment down to the bottom Tier 1, and they should see an opening on that top tower.
Yeah, unless they really want to defend it, which is something that they might do. They still have the fortification. They haven't used it yet. We do have Net rotating bottom, and he is going to get joined by KYXY on his Meepo. Fortification comes out now. I don't think they can fight it, though. They're seeming a bit too late. In also comes the Venomancer. Yeah, it's too late, too little too loo There's now 4 people on this bottom lane. And they won't get anything because everybody already left. So that is a lot of rotations coming out without getting that tier 2 top, which, as you mentioned, they could have already tried to make it go on that one. Maybe not even taking it down completely, but at least like getting it down to half. But no, they ended up wasting quite a bit of time for nothing.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's a low-risk movement, too, because they have the Stampede to disengage if worse comes to wear. I mean, they have potential to chip that tower down very quickly, and they all can move at a very quick speed if, obviously, the Alliance look to respond to it. But they're really shaking right now. They are uneasy. They know that they're one mistake away from losing this game and thus losing the match, putting them in the lower bracket. So they're playing this very cautiously. They're just trusting in KOXY that he'll be able to build up his farm gradually. But for right now, his net worth is only even with the Razors, and they need so much more out of him. Yeah,
they need a lot more time. Downside is, if Malaysia is getting time, also means that Loda is getting time, which is, yeah, scary. He hasn't died yet. He's 207. He has his Yasha, and he's just happily farming away. It's late game control in one hero, and it's for Malaysia. They're delaying the game, and you just pointed out exactly why they should be doing that, and that's a good thing. But they have to be wary that they have to find a way to lock that Spectre down at some point.
Yeah,
they do have a lot of disables, I guess, but I'm not sure if that's enough because there's more disables on the side of Alliance.
Definitely, as far as just a raw initiation potential there. But it's actually interesting what way the Viper is going to be going now. Chesty looked to be building up the Aghanim Scepter originally, but he's got a couple of Ring of Regens, as well as the Cloak on the Courier. He wanted the opponents to think that he was going for the Axe, or maybe he intended to, but has changed his mind to move towards that Pipe of Insight, and when he gets it, there is a huge amount of potential survivability against Ohio's initiation, and he has yet to pick up his own Aghanims.
Yeah, it's 1k gold away, or 1100 gold away, if you will. He is one of the heroes that is farming really well on the side of Team Malaysia. That will have a gigantic impact until that pipe comes out. Because that's when it's starting to get scary again. However, Team Malaysia realized that something needs to be done. They're going to try and take out a tier 2. Have to be careful to not trade a Roshan for a tier 2 tower. This is not a game where I think that would be worth doing. I'm not sure if Alliance wants to actually go for that or just go for a tower of their own. It seems like going for a tower of their own is going to be the way to go here. They have all 5 heroes in the bottom half of the map. They already lost their own tower though. Teleport back from Vengeful Spirit, who is back in the base of Alliance. Get some help now also from Admiral Bulldog teleporting in. Mushi has got that Aghanim, so that Eye of the Storm is gonna kick in. And meantime, bottom lane, initiation goes on. Net teleporting in, or rather stampeding and ends up getting the kill on Loda and lives to tell the tale.
and
Aki
Earthbound.
cannot teleport out, gets Earthbound and goes down. His birds, they are gonna live, but it's still not ideal. It's 2 for 1 and they finally get that Spectre.
Yeah, spreading across the map, and the tier 2 tower will still stand. Yeah, that's a huge kill, honestly, because just the net worth that he's been accruing throughout this entire game, it's going to rubber band them back very hard. The 6.82 patch is real. Now the fight recap finally shows up. Spectre loses 450, Meepo gains 638, and as a whole, their team gained 1,000 out of that pickoff. Now, they have the option of denying the tower, but for now, it's going to be the familiars that KOXY is focusing. A couple of stone forms coming out. But all in all, he's just kind of spreading himself across the map. 2 in mid, a couple on bottom, and just trying to find secure ways to find farm before he jumps into the pit, as we do see him kind of perched just above.
Yeah, I think he missed his jump. I'm not sure if that was intended, but...
Could also be where he thinks the familiars might be flying,
This is
and
true.
they very frequently fly over the tree line, so maybe gets lucky with a ground A-click at command and might be able to just completely destroy 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah. Well, Roshan for now, again, unbothered. And yeah, Alliance not getting that tier 2 on bottom lane. A pretty big setback, and I mentioned in the previous game, these type of setbacks, I think have a big psychological impact, because it just shows. Look at how careful Alliance is positioning themselves. They're all around mid. They're not planning on taking a fight. They're just wanting to delay the game and give Loda farm. But they also don't want to be out by themselves, because they are afraid of actually dying when they do. Perhaps they are going for a smoke here. Yeah, thank you. So they do group up 0-5 in the end. But it's scary, because they know something needs to change, and if they do not win the next fight with this smoke, things are completely evened out again, and I would actually say maybe in favor of Team Malaysia at that point. So
Yeah, it's very scary, and at this point, any Dota game could be on a knife's edge. But this one, they feel pretty confident with the Pipe of Insight and the Roar onto KOXY. They should be able to take this one.
Yeah, well, Admiral Bulldog is going to be the first target to go down. He did get his roar off, however. Skywrath Mage, squishy on the back end, gets picked up. Same thing goes for Net, and KOXY will be the next target. Mushi down, and down they go. It seemed like Team Malaysia, after nuking down Admiral Bulldog, they had no oil left to burn. And they just ended up running around dying. Of course, that is from my point of view, because there is still the connectivity issues to the Perfect World server from my end. Making all the spells come out a bit later than they're actually casted, but it seemed like they were running around like headless chickens after Bulldog went down.
Yeah, just about. I mean, obviously they tried to focus their right clicks from the Meepo on a single target, but he just got focused too hard by the Nether Toxin of the Viper, as well as just some good damage all around from Alliance. They knew that Ohio was doing his split push play down at bottom because the Radiant Observer Ward that's in the bottom lane, it's going to expire very shortly, but it gave them some valuable intel that Ohio was just doing his split push thing, and it was going to take him a while to TP to the tier 2, run all the way to the fight, and try to contribute. So they just went in, knowing the pipe would be enough to nullify any magic damage minus the Venomancer, and they were able to make it with minimal losses. Bulldog will fall, but like you said, he accomplished what he needed to in that fight.
Yep. However, Alliance, they might get the tier 2 on the top lane after that fight, but they're not going to get the Roshan. This time Team Malaysia is going on that one, and no contest coming out from Alliance. So Meepo will take out the Aegis. Next fight for Alliance won't be so easy. I don't think there will be a next fight soon. Of course, this was a smoke gank from Alliance, basically to reassert their dominance over this game and get the control back. And for now, they're happy farming again for the moment.
So KOXY's got an ultimate orb stocked up, and that means one of two things. It's either a Hex or a Scotty. One gives HP, one gives the lockdown that you were mentioning they don't really have right now. Which would you prefer to see?
I think Scythe.
Okay.
I think that's going to be the best. They need some pick-off potential. Slow-wise, I mean, they've got the Venomancer for that, and it's not like Alliance is trying to run away from them, because they can just stand there and kill them instead, and I think the control is a gigantic issue. For them. But I guess time will tell.
We'll have to see. I still think the Meepo is a little squishy, but you know, you have to take it one step at a time. You have to get one foot in the right direction. If they build the Hex and immediately get a pickoff with it, it's paid for at least half of its own price by itself, and he can start making his way towards a harder Tarrasque, which would give him the durability that he really needs. But speaking of harder Tarrasque, we're going to be seeing Loda build it up very soon. Went for the casual Yasha pickup after the Radiance, but now has gone back for the VIP booster, and I think he wants to go all in for that heart. Build up the HP, make those Haunt Illusions just survive for their full duration, and of course make it very difficult for him to be picked off.
What does the Beastmaster say when he gets the bounty rune?
Yeah, I was listening to that. I was like, what in the world? Usually they just use a last hit sound file. But that was a very unique one. I have no idea.
I was like, what am I hearing? And then like,
it's like a trumpet.
Yeah, it was a bit like a trumpet. Stampede, they are initiating in mid lane. They want to go on Chessie. Not an easy target, but with everybody there, they should be able to take it down. And this time, no kill return. Mechanism comes out for net just in case. But it is a good pick off. Stampede used for that worth. And let's see if they can get something off the back of this fight, because they have no intention of stopping by the looks of things.
Yeah, just can kind of build off of that and find an opportunity. Obviously, with the Aegis there, there's a lot to be gained in this position, and they do have plenty of heroes to right-click with. With all the clones coming in, the Hex now available on him, they can turn this 5v4 into a 5v3, but the buyback and the initiation.
Yeah, in the meantime, Misery is fighting net, but we're watching the other part of the fight where Chessie is back. He just popped back, and he is sitting in the midst of all the damage, ends up going down again. Maybe the Aegis at least gets burnt. That is the case, but it's just an Aegis. Roar comes out to make sure Razor doesn't teleport out. And it is gonna be KYXY dying for the second time. There he goes. Want to point out that the fight that we missed, the fight that I jumped away from, the Vengeful Spirit versus Centaur, Vengeful Spirit came out ahead, so good on him. Venomancer was the one to make it out alive. Ended up not even being there, I think. Was he not there at all?
I don't believe so. He's been doing this play down on bottom lane the whole time, and he really hasn't committed to a full fight despite having the Aghanims for some while. I like you said, I like the fact that he was doing it earlier to put pressure on the lanes, but now that he has the Axe farmed up, I'd rather see him in the fight. Maybe he feels the Pipe of Insight is a little bit too strong for him to counteract, but I don't know. Without him, they certainly don't stand a chance. They will go for the Stampede, the Poison Nova play, but Bulldog didn't get hit by either of those. So unless they stop this Venge TP, no, she gets out and barely survives in the fountain. Or does she? No, she'll die in the fountain. But Bulldog is the one to be pursued.
And that's a gem back. They also end up, actually, Chessie was still dead. Vengeful Spirit's still dead in the fountain, which is quite the shame, but...
Yeah, she was actually like healing from the fountain for about 4 seconds straight. Like... Yeah. It was very gradual, but the poison was just out DPSing it just by a tiny bit.
Well, there's a gem back in the hands of Team Malaysia. They do end up losing their tier 2 tower. It did not get denied. The Visage Familiars were able to take that down. Means there's just one tower that's left standing on the side of Team Malaysia, and it's a tower that is in the deny range for a long time now. 64 health, but Team Malaysia, even though I think they're aware of this, I mean, you gotta assume they're aware of this, they're still holding on to the tower.
Yeah, the longer they keep the gold out of the hands of Alliance, the better. But obviously, if they're risking too much from it being alive, they need to take care of it very, very quickly. The only reason that you would actually, other than keeping gold off the table, the only reason that you wouldn't deny a tower that is deniable outside the base is if, I theorized this earlier, is the tier 1 towers. If you could leave those up for like a 50 to 60 minute base race situation, you can actually deny your own tower, reset fortification, and glyph your more important towers when the base race comes through. But, you know, otherwise, yeah, they should just probably take that off the table. That only works for tier 1s. And yeah, this tier 2 has stood long enough. It's going to be picked off if they let it stand any longer. But I don't know. In this position, it might be the least of their concerns. This Spectre is getting huge. She got that ultra kill out of that last big team fight. She actually got the last on that Centaur with the Venge Centaur 1v1 just with her Haunt, and she just does so much work in the midst of these engagements.
Yeah, and also, I mean, there's a side device up on the Meepo, which is great. But you kind of have to wait with using that on the Spectre until the hunt is over, which is normally the way for a Spectre to get into a fight if she's not there already. So if they don't get the jump on Spectre, they won't be able to fight her until they know which one is really the real one. Which sometimes can take some time, and time, well, that's a lot of damage coming out from their Spectre. But I do like the side device pickup. I mean, as already mentioned, just offers a bit more control and a bit more gankability as well, which is... Meepo is actually a really strong hero in terms of ganking. They're gonna go in here though, roaring it up on the Ohio Venomancer gets 4 staff back. Is gonna end up dropping as the first one. They're gonna continue on to KYXY, who's trying to poofing out. Razor can't poof out. Nice stun from Net, but it's just a delay. The team of Alliance to chase down KYXY. He will end up giving his life for that one. They will finally take the 64 health tower. Took them some time. Alliance has not lost a single hero of themselves. They still have the double damage of the Viper, which is about to take out, but they're gonna see if they can go high ground. They get a buyback up on the Venomancer at least.
I kind of feel like they should just fall back for Roche. If they feel they can go for the Rex, that's great, but Meepo looks to try to contest this, and one misstep, and this could be a huge colossal throw right back the other way. They will go for the Ranger X first. It's the easy one, but Roche should be so easy right now. With all the tier 2s down, there's no way for them to teleport and contest it. Stampede's also down for 30, but they feel like if it is the Rex, KYXY has something to say about that.
Yeah, well, KYXY can't say anything anymore. He ends up going down very fast. Same thing goes for the Skywrath Mage, and I'm not sure why everybody's just walking in like this and dying.
It's the GG. It's the tap out. They really don't have much more against it. Like, without the ultimates, I really thought that a 3-man movement had a chance to get a couple of key pickoffs and, you know, maybe only lose the one lane, but at that point, the way they approached that, the timing wasn't there, the respawns weren't with them, and they knew that they'd been losing this game rather, since like the 15-minute mark when Loda just got too much farm. So in the end, he's 8-1-16, his GPM's 544, and Alliance take a 2-0 victory over Team Malaysia.
Yeah, Team Malaysia though, not all hope is gone just yet. They are dropped to the lower bracket, as this is a double elimination best of 3 bracket. Of course, you are watching the WCA LAN finals in China, which is also why we're having some connectivity issues to our China servers. And on top of that, unfortunately, the internet in the BTS house is out, meaning that both Blaze and myself will bring you a ghetto cast until they have things working up again. Follow Blaze at BlazeCasting on Twitter, myself on @Sheaver on Twitter, and I believe you said earlier that we're going to jump straight into a different game? Or what's the plan?
I believe so. The schedule is very packed with best of 3s back to back, and there were some simultaneous games earlier, but I believe now it's all strung out. So Vici Gaming versus IG should be pretty soon, but we'll have more information very shortly, guys.
Okay, then we'll be right back. Stick around, guys.